For Friday kickers.
We have Cal Knight here.
Or you've been having it and you just haven't been telling
The
me.
first time.
So with everybody in, I can close the
I
door.
think we're done. Yeah.
I thought I was just going to anonymously be like part of this large group.
Oh no. We're recording it too.
You guys your name, so there's
Oh,
no
nice,
way you're gonna.
nice.
Probably this is going to George.
Wow.
For quality
Oh, are you
purposes.
serious?
He didn't want to see anybody else's but yours.
Yeah. Kind of doubt that.
Very cool. So let's start. Thank you for this one. I'm gonna.
Oh, 36 to 50, that's a nice broad range.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a very good. That's what I thought when I was making them.
Yeah.
Because nobody needs to feel offended. Let's double check if we have everything correct. So 2 years, dream age,
Yeah.
more or less. Department
Two
digital.
and a half, but who's counting?
Yeah, counts the halves. Digital marketing,
Yeah.
and then senior manager.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think you entered in your screener that you have an iPhone.
iPhone,
And
yeah.
we know that you have it. And
Yeah.
it's a 6, right?
Yeah.
6 plus.
Yeah. 6 plus.
Do you use your cell phone for work?
Yes.
And can you tell us how you use it for work?
How I use it for work?
How you use it for work?
Email, calendar, phone calls.
You're the first one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have My Image app on your phone?
I do.
You got prepared. It was crucial.
Yeah.
What are your favorite apps on the phone?
I don't know what my favorites are, but
Or the one that you use the most?
like work-wise, like productivity, or you
No.
like words with
General.
friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Really yours, your favorite.
It just depends what I'm trying to do. I mean, I can't say my Kaiser app, so that wouldn't
I'm
be
gonna
nice.
put that on Kaiser. Well, if you like it.
I mean, it usually like my my banking apps. I do a lot on almost all my banking stuff on there. So there's like 3 of them. You know, then there's like fun stuff, which would be this is kind of creepy, but words with friends
scribbles.
and words with friends and Facebook.
Yeah. We won't ask anyone.
I'm just trying to think what I do. It's really it's email and texting and yeah, some social stuff or Yelp. My health apps. I mean, I've used Kaiser quite a bit more extensively because I only switched to John Muir this year. So yeah, so I'm using both of those. But
So let's say that you have to check your personal phone for your personal things. When you need to access it, what do you prefer to do? At your desk, in a private space like a conference room, in an open space like the lunchroom, or in an open space outside?
I don't think it matters. I mean,
It doesn't matter. It can be anywhere. You feel comfortable doing anything that is private anywhere.
well,
Let's say you want to chat on Facebook.
yeah. I mean, I guess like it. I mean, it just it depends where you're at or what information you need. I guess unless you feel like someone's like
So we can
so
say
close
all
they're
of
like
them?
looking over your shoulders or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you
Yeah.
it just depends where you're at. I mean, shoot. I mean, if you're in a line at Starbucks and you need to look up something, I mean, I would maybe look up something health related or financial related if I didn't feel like the guy behind you is staring
Yeah.
over your shoulder.
Perfect, very good.
So,
So, usually in your life, when you need to search for medical information
mhm.
for something that you're interested in, what do you do?
Go to Google.
Google. And do you usually do this on your computer or on your phone?
Probably, that's hard to say. I'd say more on my phone, but if I really, really needed to dig into something, I'd wait and sit down at a computer to do it.
And
Especially because if you're doing searches and stuff, because some sites will be responsive and others won't, and you won't necessarily get as much information off your phone.
That's right.
But if you're, so if I'm at the house, I'll go over to the computer. If I'm not, I'll try it on my phone first.
Do you have an iPad one or your PC?
Mm-hmm.
What if you need to find a new doctor? What do you do?
Go to johnyourhealth.com
Good.
/find a doctor.
You know the URL probably. And do you do that from home, from the computer, or from the phone?
I do that from here.
So on the computer.
Yes, on the computer.
What if you need to view your test result?
On the phone. That comes up just fine on the phone.
And what, using the iPad
Mhm.
or the phone?
Yeah.
What about if you need to view your immunizations?
Generally phone, unless I need to print them, and I'll do it from my home computer.
Still from the iPad, using the iPad?
No, it depends. Like if I can get by, and if I use the example of my son's immunizations, I've been asked for them before, and I was able to pull them up and just take a screen grab and email them, and they were fine with that. But if it was a paper packet or something, or signing up for sports, or if somebody asked you to bring a printout, then I would go to my computer and print it out.
But I guess the question really is about sensitivity around viewing the data, Danielle, as opposed to maybe the burden of additional functionality like a printer.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we're asking, right?
I don't know.
Great.
Because I think there's two different distinctions here.
Sure, I
Your
do it because of
sensitivity around the
functionality.
issue is due to the functional restrictions that a mobile phone gives you, as opposed to being at the office and viewing a bad lab result.
Yeah, maybe I'm less sensitive to it to other people, but I'm not really sensitive to immunizations. I could really care less if somebody knew I had a tetanus
But
shot or something.
immunizations for kids
But-
playing college football is something different because that's functional.
But if it's, and even if it's lab results, Lord knows, those are so hard to read as it is. Like you're looking at these weird codes, and you're like, okay, it's between 1.2 and 8.5, and you know what I mean?
It's 6.
It's you know what I mean? It's like even if the person behind you at Starbucks looked over your shoulders and saw your lab results, nobody could ever possibly interpret those in a million years. It's not like there's this red flashing thing that says you're about to die.
Okay.
So maybe I'm a little more callous than other people, but
So if you need to request refills or a new medication, what do you do today?
I haven't had to ever do that with John Muir.
In the past, what did you do?
I would email my doctor at Kaiser, and they would send it to the pharmacy for pickup.
And that operation, you would do it from the phone as well as on the computer, or?
Yeah, either one.
What about if you need to schedule an appointment with a doctor?
More experience doing that on Kaiser, and I think I would have a tendency to do that more on the computer. You can do it on the phone. I've done it on both, but it's just a little bit easier on the computer.
Using the app or sending
When it's on the phone, using the app.
and if it's on the computer, you go to the portal?
Right.
And last, if you need to share your medical information with others, what would you do? And others can be both your families or other doctors that you're being referred to.
That's a good question. I don't know how to do that. You mean like transferring records and all that, like transferring records from Kaiser to here? I want to do that. I don't know how yet, and I've asked them, and I have my first primary care appointment coming up, and I was told to just wait, and I'm just hopeful, since it's epic to epic, Jim and other people tell me that
You
you
should
can do that.
come across.
What's that called? That,
Terrible.
yes.
Good.
So that I don't have to, I don't know, go to Kaiser and ask for, sign all those forms and stuff and have them mail them over, because I can't imagine that you want to receive a whole stack of paper here if there's just a way to push a button and
There's not.
Huh?
There's not yet.
there's not. Okay.
That would be convenient. Very good. So now
You should.
let's go to the scope of this
Mhm.
eVisit. So the pilot study. Did you register to the pilot?
No.
Why didn't you do it?
I didn't have pink eye or a sunburn or whatever
So
the other
you didn't
conditions
need
are on
it.
there.
You didn't have
Yeah.
a need.
Yeah.
So you didn't register. Not because you had some sort of aversion to it. Or do
No.
you have?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it would be great. I think it's very limited in its use cases. But if you're one of those people where you know that that's a condition and it's exactly what you need, like it's an allergy or an allergy refill, or I need antibiotics for my pink eye or something, then I would absolutely do that, because there's no reason to have to go into the doctor just for them to
Just
tell
for
you
that.
what you already know and give you a prescription.
And if you were to do one, do you think you would do it for anyone, yourself, your spouse, your children, or you would be selected?
Definitely do it for myself and for my kids. I don't know whether I'd do it for my husband or just tell him to do it himself, but I guess I'd probably be nice and do it for him. I'd probably tell him to do it, and then he'd say, "You do it, please," and then I would do it.
And if you were to do it, would you make a choice, a clear choice in your mind to where you want to do it and on what device you want to do it? Like, I want to do it from home at a certain time, and I want to use a computer versus it doesn't matter, wherever I am, I can use the phone, I can be in the office.
I think for an eVisit, I'd be more inclined to use the computer. And I'd probably be more inclined to do something like that, maybe from the privacy of your own home, because you don't know exactly how long it's going to take or how many questions they're going to ask or what questions they're going to ask.
Perfect. So,
And I would also think that also if you're doing eVisits, a lot of times it might be after hours or weekends or things. I mean, not necessarily, but maybe.
So that would be your expectation after hours, weekends. Perfect. You never did one, so I can put here that you didn't start it, right?
Mhm.
Thinking of what you heard about eVisit, what other people might have told you, and what organization you actually are in the middle of it.
Mhm.
If you were to summarize some of the pros and the cons of this service as a user, not as an employee,
Mhm.
for yourself and your family, how would you come up with a bunch of good things and things to improve?
Um, the good things would be the convenience. And then not necessarily, and then I guess it kind of depends too, because it could be, from a cost perspective, like urgent care is under my plan here is a $40 copay. And I'm going into the assumption that I kind of know what I want, and I'm just going to keep using, say, the pink eye example. Well, if I know what it is that I need, do I want to pay $40 at urgent care, or maybe I could just do it $25 online and have it go right to the pharmacy?
Yeah.
So you get not only the time savings, but also the money savings.
Yes.
Um, so I think those were the two. The two big, and then the bad might be if you go all the way through and then you just get kicked out and sent to urgent care anyways. It's not that big of a deal, but maybe you spent 10 minutes going through that and it didn't help.
Yeah, the disappointment.
Yeah. And then probably the limited number of conditions which I know will expand over time. And then probably just since it's a very, I can't remember the word that you use for it. It's not a back and forth, it's only one way. Is that like
Yes.
asynchronous? Is that
Well,
the word?
there could be some back and forth actually,
Other could?
only if the case is not solved.
Okay. But it's not, of course the next best thing would be more like almost like a video chat.
The 2
Like,
ways.
if I'm buying a appliance from Sears, I've got that little person just chatting away with me back and forth. So, I mean, in a perfect world, you'd have the doctor chatting with you real time.
Yeah.
And custom tailoring their questions to you based on your responses. Because sometimes I'm like, I can be a little suspicious when the questions are very canned, or you look at them and like maybe you don't know how to answer a question. You're kind of like, well, yes, or maybe no, but okay, I'll just put yes. And then in your mind, you're wondering, is that going to make a difference on the output? Because you might not have a way to explain why you don't know whether to say yes or no. Because I think most of them, from what I recall on eVisits, it's pretty much yes or no, right? It's very formulaic, and then if you don't answer something right, it's going to kick you out. There's not.
Some of them are, some are not. It's really a mix, you're right. There are a little bit of everything, yeah. You're right. And so the cost, the $25, you still think it's fair? From what you were saying, it's less than urgent care?
Well, it's interesting because it's fair if your only option is to say I'd have to go to urgent care for $40, but coming from the Kaiser world and knowing that I could have just emailed my doctor for free there and they would have sent my prescription and I wouldn't have had to pay a copay at Kaiser is so it just depends what you're accustomed to.
That is a good point.
Um,
And over there, it's free because you just call and they're always available.
Yeah, they're excited you didn't come in because
Ah.
you didn't cost them money by coming in.
And
Right?
how do
So,
you connect with them? It's phone call, message.
email. So the example I always think of is my son gets ear infections. He had them his whole life, so once a year his little ear starts draining down the side of his neck, and I know what it is. So I email his doctor, and he says, "Okay, I sent the flux and eardrops and the antibiotics to the pharmacy. You can go pick them up."
That's right.
And there's no reason for me to have to take him out of school, drive him down, pay $25 or $50 and go through the whole thing when we all know what it is.
You're right.
So,
That is a convenience. Now, let's forget about eVisit
okay.
and just go outside the world of possibilities. If you could do one ongoing thing
Mhm.
related to healthcare on your phone, what would that be?
One thing related to that I can't do now. Or that I
maybe
can't.
that you can, but it's just one of those things that you would not do without because you need it. And you
Related to healthcare.
Yeah.
It's hard because the the appointments and the lab results are really, really tied. If you really need to cancel an appointment or change it or whatever, and you're out and about, I want to be able to do that when I'm out and about. But so I can only pick one. Pick one
You
of the
can
two.
say two.
The appointments and I'm sorry, I'm having a very hard time prioritizing because everything, it's like the appointments, the labs, and the emailing. It just depends. Like when you need to do it, it's like that's what you need to do.
And when you're thinking about appointments, are you thinking about sending a request for an appointment, or are you thinking about being able to actually schedule the appointment?
Schedule.
So that is scheduling. Very good. I think we can get away from here. Do you want to add any comments? Maybe something you want us to capture on this film? Well, we're there. So now we're going to switch gear.
So that's going to be anonymized.
Well,
can't just leave it as the female 36 to 50.
Well, depends. What do you give us?
Yeah, okay.
So now we're going to do actually something that has to do with the representation of the eVisit on the app. So you probably have noticed that on our app, we currently have these 4 icons. More appointments, messages, and labs.
Okay.
Because we want to bring eVisit inside the mobile app, we need to find another icon to put there. So we're going to replace this one with something that is going to tell you that is the place where to start an eVisit.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is, thinking that we're looking for this missing thing, I'm going to show you a bunch of images, and at the beginning it's going to be fairly quick.
Okay.
What I would like you to do is, when I turn it, if you think it's an appropriate image for an eVisit, you keep it. But if you feel like it's not a good one, you give it back to me.
Okay.
There are images here that may be distracting, and it's intentional.
Okay.
So you just keep going.
Okay.
All right. So, 1.
I get more than one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hmm. That's interesting. Well, is that on your computer or on your phone or both?
It's just on the phone.
It's just on the phone?
It's going, the
But
icon.
it'll be the same. You'll see the same icon whether you're on the phone or the desktop.
This is right now just for the phone. You don't see this icon on the computer.
Oh, then I wouldn't do that one. Looks like a Wi-Fi signal. Jim.
She was looking at this.
Oh, yeah. eVisit.
This is Andre.
Okay. That's kind of okay. Set a device. Oh, they see they're different. This guy looks a lot better than this guy. Okay, that's not bad.
All right. Now you can have your time to take a look at them
Mm-hmm.
and cut them in half. Give away two and keep the two that you like the most. She's giving these two away. Okay. So these are your two favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what you see in those images?
What I see?
Why you like them? I see a
Um,
blackboard.
Well, I mean, I like this one. It's sort of synergistic in that you have like squares and triangles that seems to follow the same shapes.
Yes.
So it's kind of visually pleasing that way.
Yeah.
It's on some kind of a tablet with a doctor, so it is sort of indicative of what it is.
Yes.
So it's probably when you put this one here, it's kind of the same thing. It follows that same, like the simple shapes,
Yes.
so it's consistent. Again, you see it on a phone. I think in some ways, well, this one might fit a little bit better because it's inanimate, like the others are. Like these aren't people; they're more like symbols.
Yes.
So I think it fits more from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
This one I think it incorporates the idea of a visit more because it has the person in there. So you still have the tablet, but it shows that you're essentially connecting to a doctor.
Okay.
But that said, kind of playing devil's advocate with messages, you're also connecting to a doctor, and we don't put a doctor there
Yes.
on, to indicate who you're messaging. But I don't know. I mean, I think these are both. I think they're both pretty good.
All right. Thank you. So I'm going to move these on the side. So just for the record, I'm gonna put this
Mm-hmm.
on camera. So this goes here. I'm gonna take this back, and now we're gonna switch gear.
Okay.
What we're gonna do is actually an eVisit, but
Okay.
we're gonna do it on the phone.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start by giving you this phone, and here is the scenarios that I would like you to consider. So imagine that you or someone in your family is not feeling well.
Mm-hmm.
Pick one of these conditions, and you have them both back and front.
Am I supposed to look at them or just?
You can, no, you have to choose one of them. And maybe one that is closer to your real experience. I mean, there are some written also in the back. Here there are more. And we're going to have you think of a situation where you actually wanted to solve that one by using the phone.
See, these are ones that I don't get, for example, like the flu,
Mm-hmm.
because in my mind, when you have the flu, you have the flu, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
You go to the doctor, they're going to tell you to rest up, drink fluids, do whatever, but
Yeah.
they can't give you any medicine. I mean,
Yeah.
so I don't know why I'd go online and spend $25 for somebody to tell me
Yeah.
drink fluid and go to bed, and if your fever's too
Why
hot and you
do
feel
it?
like you pass out, then go to the ER or urgent care. I mean, I haven't ever understood.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has ever picked that one.
I'm just going to do the canker cold sore thing.
Okay, so she chose the canker cold sore. Now, decide for whom do you want to do it. If it's for yourself or for someone else.
Okay, I'll do it for me.
For yourself. Pretend that this is your phone and that from here you're going to go and start a new eVisit. Just for your information, this is a prototype, which means that not all pages are actually working. They are images. So some of the, like in this case, the input page, it's already pre-filled. You can just log in here.
I can just put log in.
Yes. And if you can tell us what would be your thought process to actually go and start a new eVisit.
So I hit eVisits on the bottom.
Okay.
And hit the little plus mark at the top.
Okay.
We're about to go to a different page where you can start, continue.
Very good.
Oh, I probably
No,
should.
you did very
should,
well.
I know, but I should have looked at the conditions that could be treated. But
Oh yeah, now it's not going to go there.
yeah,
But that's okay.
fine.
So we're going to do a switch of devices just because this is a prototype.
Okay.
So we return back to the phone.
Okay.
But what we're going to pretend is that once you click that page,
Mm-hmm.
instead of landing into an empty things, in this white space, you actually have this one.
Okay.
So imagine that one in here. Okay? And now you can tell us, you can go through your eVisit.
Probably didn't really read it. Please enter your initials every time too. But it says it's invalid.
Oh, because we're not using your
use
real
SE
one.
instead of T,
Sorry.
use SE,
Oh,
uppercase.
Okay, so that's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't see anything. Unless I'm missing it. I don't see anything that would indicate cold sore. Because under skin conditions, there's just acne, diaper rash, burns, and eczema. And then under cold, flu, and allergies, there's just cold, sinus infection, sore throat, hay fever, allergies, influenza. So I would probably take a stab at cold.
Your stab is as good as ours.
Huh?
Your stab is as good as ours.
But I would maybe stop and potentially stop and not go through, thinking maybe it wasn't one of the conditions.
Okay. So if we just, because you skipped that screen, I'm going to go to that page that tells you the
I mean, if
condition.
you could maybe, because a lot of the others have 4 radio buttons. I mean, if under the cold, flu, and allergies, if there could even just be a radio button that said canker sores or cold sores.
Yes. So these are the conditions.
Okay.
It's like canker or cold sore. It
Yeah.
is treated.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that you read this one and you are convinced that yes, they're treating it, so you're continuing.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of buried at the end of that thing before you hit go, and I think people get kind of impatient and they'll bypass that. So I don't know. It can be kind of annoying to have something kind of pop up into your face, but at least then you might potentially read it, although a lot of people just have the knee-jerk reaction to just close it anyways.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. So let's continue from the
cold, so keep going, right?
yes.
Okay, so So again, what upper respiratory problem do you think you might have? Now I'm not seeing canker sores on here. I'm seeing the best one I can come up with is just cold symptoms, but it's not really a cold. Okay, so here's a question that it's an example of one of those yes/nos where I wouldn't. It's have you already been evaluated by a healthcare provider? Oh, I see. For this episode of your problem. No, that would be no. Because I'm trying to take care of it online instead. So it started 2 days ago. See, and then I'd probably get kind of frustrated, like I was going down the wrong path because keeps asking me all these questions about sinus congestion and surgery and facial surgery and like all these things that are just completely unrelated to a
What
cold
you
sore.
have.
Yeah, so I would think, oh no, I picked the wrong thing, and I'm going down the wrong path because the questions don't
relate.
Yeah, I mean, they don't relate to what you think you have. You know, if you have a canker sore, no, you're not going to have nasal congestion, runny nose, mucus draining down your throat. You know, they're all different things. I almost wonder, but I guess I can see why they don't do it, is if you look at the conditions that are treated, and you're coming to the site, you probably have a good idea of what it is you think you have and what you're trying to accomplish with this eVisit. I don't think anyone's going to start it going, gosh, I have no idea in the world what condition I could
You have to
possibly
know.
have. I'm going to go to an eVisit. You're like, no, I know I have pink eye or a bladder infection, or I know I have a canker sore, and I'm annoyed because I know what it is, and I have a pretty good idea of what I need. I would almost want to start off the whole process with, what's the purpose of this visit? I guess, what is it that you think you have, or what do you want to be seen for? Which of our, okay, so like if this thing here,
Yes.
which of these conditions do you want to, here's what we treat. Which one of these do you want to be seen for? And then I'll say it's canker sore, but then it'll have to go through all the questions validating for a canker sore that, I do in fact have the canker sore, but I'd feel better like I was going down the right path because I told you right at the get-go. Because when I look at the physical experience of going in to see a doctor, what's the first thing they say? Hi, how can I help you? What am I seeing you for here today? And the first thing out of your mouth is you're going to be like, I think I have a bladder infection, or I have a canker sore, I have this, and I want you to look at it. And then the doctor's going to make sure that it's not anything else. They're going to try to either validate or rule out what you say you think it is, but you come in and you tell them. I mean, for these types of conditions, I mean, I'm not saying like if you go into the doctor and you're like, oh my gosh, I have a stabbing pain in my gut. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know what that could be. That could be gallstones. That could be appendicitis. That could be a million different things. But that's not why you're coming to eVisit. You're coming to eVisit for things that you know what they are. Like I can't think of any of these where somebody would not know that's what I'm
that
here
is.
for.
So let me show you something. When we clicked on continue here, and of course there is the attestation, so we entered the initials. Let's just do it quickly here. And we said, no, it's nothing serious.
Mm-hmm.
There was this initial page,
Right.
where you had to choose. In a way, is what
Yeah.
you're saying. I should be able to tell why I'm here.
And these should exactly mirror what the conditions are
Over
in
there.
that list that we
Yeah.
say we treat. I mean, there should be a 1-to-1
That's what is missing
for
here.
this.
The list doesn't coincide with it because canker sore is not showing here at all. And so it's making you doubt that you are actually entering the right path.
Right.
So I think we found a bug. 1-to-1 match between list and question. No.
And I'm sorry, this might be a really naive question because I don't know. But a UTI, a urinary tract
Mhm.
infection, is that only unique to females? I mean, men can't get any kind of urinary tract
Apparently.
infections? I don't
Apparently
know.
that's the one they're treating.
No, that's a good question on that one too.
Let's put that
I mean, I would think they could, and I would think they'd both be treated by antibiotics, but I don't know that you'd want to make it only for females.
I don't know.
Maybe
But,
you just spell out urinary tract infection and you let men decide whether or not that's what they have too. I don't know.
I mean, this is just kind of a wild guess, but I think for men, urinary tract infections are sometimes symptoms of prostate problems. So they want you to go in to see a doctor to rule out problems with enlarged prostate. Whereas with women's,
But this particular protocol may be skewed for women only, so if you come in as a male into the system, it might not let you
Mm.
complete this.
Right.
It might
Yeah.
give
Like
you
you
a
have to go in
delay.
there. You might.
Because if it's
Yeah.
a prostate problem,
If-
you're not getting
if
the
you have
first
an,
page.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
That's
Yeah.
I think that one's they can't do it for males
Yeah.
because you get
it would come
get
up
Okay.
as
you
a
would get triaged out.
Yeah. That
But it's
makes
a good-
sense.
it's
But
a
I
good
think we
ask.
got a problem there that
Okay.
is not matching.
Okay.
Let me start this one. That's all. Right.
Okay.
No, it's not up.
Oh yeah. So it's asking me all
Let me
these weird.
just do one thing because it's not showing on the screen. There it is. So that I can see it. Go ahead, Tracy, sorry.
Select yes. Yeah, so again, I'd be really frustrated because I know I'm saying no to all these things, and at this point, I want to be able to tell you it's a canker sore, but I have no way to be able to tell you what it is. And now, asking me, so do you have a sore throat, hoarse voice, ear pain, chest pain? And by this
Everything
point,
about-
I'm about to
Yeah, okay.
I'm convinced I'm wasting my time because I'm like, no, I have a canker sore. Then it goes on, did you have difficulty breathing? It's like, no, I have a canker sore. Are you wheezing? No. Does your throat hurt when you try to swallow liquids? And it's like, and then I'm like thinking, okay, I really achiness, rundown, sick, fever, chills, no. Loss of appetite,
Not
no.
really.
Yeah, nausea,
Unless I bite myself.
vomiting, itchy ear, itchy eyes, sorry.
Of course.
Yeah, so
So
then,
now you're triaged out.
right, because I picked the wrong thing because there was no canker sore there.
Yeah.
So,
So you
I wouldn't go back and try again because that buried link that was hidden that said the conditions we treat, I never saw that. Or even if I saw that, I would think, well, I did the best I could. I wouldn't go through and try again.
Absolutely wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Very good. Or very bad. But this is exactly what we wanted to discover because we have one condition that needs to be mapped to the questions. So let's assume that everything went well. And we can take these out.
Okay.
And we're going to go back to to this view.
Mm-hmm.
So you finished there. Let's say that you paid, you completed it. And when you exit from that place, you see this. Sorry, can I make it visible for everyone? If you can tell us, now we're just testing the navigation here for the app. Can you tell us what is happening here? What changed? Where are you?
So I'm in eVisits.
Okay.
Here's selected condition.
So we are assuming that you were not triaged out, that you actually finished it and it's been sent for diagnosis.
Yeah, I guess, it wouldn't, I completed all that. But see, I didn't see the screen that said, we'll be back to you within an hour, or does it tell you to check your phone and look here? Because I didn't see that, but if I read that, then I would know what this is.
Okay.
Does it say like how you're going to be notified? Do you get an email, or do you get a text, or do you?
I think actually, why don't you tell us what you would like to see on that screen?
On the finish screen.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be great if you could get a text alert. If you could have a preference, how would you like to be notified? and even if it's just email or text, I mean, some people might be sensitive. I mean, I'd prefer a text because, it'll pop up right away and I'll see it. But if it's kind of sensitive or something and someone doesn't want to know, they might prefer the email. But if you could have a choice, that would be ideal.
Perfect. So now you get that exact same type of message that we talked about. We are
Mhm.
pretending here, of course.
Yeah, so I got the email or the text,
Yes.
and it tells me to log in, right?
Well, we are not even there. We are
Okay.
just finishing the visit, and you are back into your app where you were
Okay, so I saw the screen that said
Yes.
we'll notify you by
in an hour.
by text or email.
Yeah.
Okay, I would just close it now.
Okay. So, what do you think this page is telling you?
Just that it's pending.
It's pending. Okay.
Mhm. I mean, it might be. It says waiting for doctor, which I don't know if I'd be expected to sit here and go, oh, maybe I better wait for the doctor and look at it. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe it could be something else like diagnosis in process or diagnosis pending or something.
Nice.
I'm not sure because seeing the waiting for doctor makes me think, oh, I'm waiting to be connected to a doctor, which isn't the case, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So,
This is very good. Yeah, that's actually very.
because then I
good.
would wonder, like, oh, maybe I can't close out of it, maybe because I have to wait for the doctor or something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
mm.
We're done.
Okay.
The only thing that we would like to ask you is an additional task. Let's assume that your children are your proxies. So you have access to view their files from My Gmh app. And you did want to do one of these conditions, an eVisit for one of your children. What would you do? And I'm going to take you from the beginning, just
Okay.
to see if
So I'll pretend one of my kids has asthma and needs
exactly,
EpiPen refill or something.
exactly, and you don't need to do the whole hypnosis questionnaire. It's just to see where you would go from the app to start an eVisit.
So eVisit plus continue. Okay, there's nothing here.
Okay.
I just did eVisit plus
And
continue.
you did the plus, which I
It's-
think
it's
was
always-
the path you did before, right?
Yeah, it's always unclear to me when you switch
Okay.
to your proxy.
Do you have proxies right now on your mobile app? Or even on the portal?
Actually, look, I took my kid to urgent care, but I've never looked to see if his visit was on there. Oops. Oh, look at that. I got a boatload of emails. Um, So I guess you have to go into more. Okay, there's the family forms. Interesting. I want to see past appointments.
You don't have access. No, you don't. I can see
Okay.
it from here.
So you have to be able to.
You need to send those forms first.
Oh, because they're paper forms,
Yeah.
right? Okay, yeah, no.
That's
I
why.
don't know. Okay.
That explains probably why. So that's perfect because now, let's log in here.
Okay.
Let's say that you have to find, let's assume that you already filled out those forms, they were sent, they were added to your account. Okay, you click where?
I clicked over. I tried the left side now.
Okay, so the sandwich
So I see
menu.
your name and I see. Oh, so all I see is your name.
Okay. What are
I
you
see.
trying to
I
do?
see family farm. Well, now I'm wondering if I'm supposed to. Oh, I see. Has your name, but then you have to hit the drop down to find your child's name.
Okay. So now you selected your child.
I'd eventually find it, but
Okay. So that's where you would go if you wanted to start a new eVisit. You would switch to him.
well, yeah, because now it says my child's
Okay.
name, and I've got the 4 things below, and I'd go to eVisits. But I'd like to be able to do it the other way around. Like I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, you learn anything,
Yeah.
right? You learn everybody's apps.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't think to go to this really tiny little thing
Yeah.
to bring down a hidden menu and switch into my
Okay.
proxy first. I'd be thinking, what do I need to do in
Yes.
eVisit? So I'd hit eVisit.
Yeah.
And then
It's
I would
more
want to
the
know,
action.
okay, is this eVisit for you or for someone else?
Yeah.
Then I'd want to say for someone else. I think that's asking a lot to make them switch into the kids' view from a hidden menu
Mm-hmm.
when the eVisit is very prominently displayed down here at the bottom.
So let me ask you a different question. What would you do if you wanted to send a message for your child?
So I'd do the same thing. I'd want to go into the function first,
Okay.
and then I would want it to ask, so up here I can see your child's name.
I'm sorry, this one is not working. So,
Oh, okay.
but
like,
you
so
will
I would-
remember the app. Yeah.
I would always hit the function first.
Okay.
What is it that you want to do, and then who do you want to do it for?
Okay. The person.
You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
like now I'm here, the friend. I see the child at the first. I'm like, well, now I want to email my doctor, not my kid's doctor. But I'd be going here, and I wouldn't be able to get back to me.
To yourself.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, let's wrap up this part. We're just going to do a summary of your experience with this,
Mhm.
the one that you just had today. So if you wanted to use the eVisit on your phone, how would you like it to be?
How would I like it to be?
Would it be very different from what you saw here? Would it be exactly the same? What would you change? Or
No, I mean, yeah, I think you captured them. I mean, for me, the 2 things that seems like we identified is that not all the conditions were represented in the first question. So I would want that to be more clearly mapped, so I comfortably felt like I was going down the right path.
yes, that's
Um,
absolutely.
And then the thing that I just said, when it comes to proxy, because you can see the functions all the time, that's going in my mind, you're always going to push the function first. So yeah, goes back to what I just said.
Yeah.
Function first, then pick who you want it for.
Okay.
Those are that's pretty much it. And I think you might even be able to combine or tweak the language a little bit on that very first page where you have all the radio buttons, like you're picking the conditions, to actually say, what is it that you want to see us for today, or or this, or you could put the, this is a list of all the conditions we currently treat. Which one would you like to visit us for today? Something to that
talking
effect.
about the one that was showing you the list of conditions, or the one that you were picking the condition?
Yeah, because I wouldn't operate under the assumption that people are necessarily going to check on that link ahead of time.
So you're not talking about this one, right?
No,
Perfect.
but
the
you
other
do,
one.
but you do have. But I would maybe, use a little bit. Well, I would maybe use some of that language in the screen itself with the radio buttons, but I would make it. What is the radio? Where does it say? Is it behind it? Is it behind it, or is it the next one?
So after we do the attestation.
Yeah, and then you do that.
And it's not serious. There we go.
Yeah, if possible, I would almost put just a little more, because just in case they didn't see that, even if it just says, these are all the conditions, for which you can have an eVisit, please select your primary health care concern below. Because if they get to this point and they didn't see that other one and they scan through this, and if they all properly match back, and they look through and they don't see one that corresponds to what they're going to do, then at least they can quickly leave the process.
Yes.
Because they'll know, oh, okay, this is the list. If there's not one here that fits, I can stop now.
Absolutely. That makes sense. Do you prefer to type into your phone or to talk using like this Siri for doing something like this? Would you rather telling him than...
No, I'd rather type. And again, with help, that's where it's like kind of anonymous. Because like if you're in a public place, or you're at work, or you're somewhere, you don't want to be like talking to Siri about a yeast infection or something really horrible,
Yeah. Not very private.
No.
Under what circumstances would you use the eVisit on your phone?
On my phone?
Mm-hmm. You wouldn't wait until going home.
No, yeah. Whenever I was away from the house, I would definitely use my phone. And actually, there's a really good chance, even if I was in the house, I would potentially.
When would that be?
Potentially use my phone. I'm just going to sit in the bedroom and I was too lazy to go out to the
for laziness.
computer.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, it's like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and we're sitting in bed or watching the news, and I don't like.
That makes total sense. I can see myself.
But that would probably be if I had already used the eVisits once before, and maybe I knew how easy it was, that it was all radio buttons. If I didn't know what to expect, thinking that I might have free-form text fields, or I might have to be like elaborating and telling the doctor, like, oh, this started coming on 2-3 days ago. I've had this medication before, but I think it would be better to, whatever. I think it would be better to use a lower dose this time, or whatever. But if you think you're going to be typing, then I would go to the computer. But if the second or third time around, if I knew it was all radio buttons, then I would do it on the phone.
How would you describe this service to a friend?
Easy, convenient. Works really well if you know what you need. I could be wrong, but I really don't think anyone would come here without having any idea of what they had.
Also because you have to choose one of those conditions.
Right, right. So it's very convenient for your, I guess what you would call your recurring nuisance conditions, things you've had before, that aren't serious and they're just a nuisance. So,
That's very good. This is it. I would just open it up to the team so that if there are additional questions, both ways, even if you have a question for us or us for you.
How many proxies do you have? So you said the one child plus the husband,
and 2 kids, 1 husband.
2 kids, 1 husband, so 3 kids really.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
And 3
debatable.
kids. With cold and flu season coming, are you more apt or less apt to use this type of thing, given the frustrations that you witnessed today and previously?
I'd personally never use it for a cold or flu because there's nothing they can give you that I'm aware of, and I think if you're even on the fence or like, oh my gosh, I think maybe it could be some kind of strep or something
I was going to say, with the ear
bacterial.
infections, and ear infection turns into strep sometimes, right?
Yeah. Then I'm like, well, if they're going to determine that it's bacterial, then I know I have to go to urgent care, so I would never even consider this for cold or flu. I wish they could put ear infections on there, but I don't know. Maybe not everyone knows what an ear infection is. I mean, if
protocols
you,
and there's barometers that like,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's some on there, like it makes you kind of raise an eyebrow, like the diaper rash. I don't think I'd go online for an eVisit for a diaper rash. Although if you're a new parent, you're going to be in urgent care because you're going to want the doctor to actually,
Is it lupus?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so there's ones like that, and even the sunburns, and I know I've heard this, it's like, well, what are they going to be used for a sunburn? I mean, I use aloe vera, and it's like, oh, no, but it could be, serious, like a 2nd degree or something like that. Well, if I have a 2nd degree or a 3rd degree, again, in that case, I'm going to go to urgent care, or I don't know what they give you for 2nd degree burn, because again, I think of it as reoccurring nuisances, and if you're burning yourself all the time, you get a problem.
Behavioral.
Check out a behavioral health center.
Yeah, like if you know what you need, because oh yeah, I got a 2nd degree burn again. I need antibiotics. I mean, there's much bigger issues there. So,
Well,
Okay.
we're done. Did you have any
Okay.
questions,
No,
Eric?
no,
You, Andrew?
the point about it recurring is a really interesting one. So maybe my wife has asthma, and like that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like just
Nuisance.
a refill. Like it's a
Right.
nuisance.
It's
so
the
it's
same
like,
thing.
It's really
I know
it's the
what
same
it
thing
is.
over and over again. So really, it seems like that's what
Yeah.
this is optimized for. Like this would be so useful if it were something you'd already
Yeah.
had,
Right.
and it's just like
You already know.
yes, I know what it is. And it just says, are you sure? Are there any other conditions? Like, no, it's fine. Everything's good.
Yeah.
And then that's it. You just get your prescription.
like I don't see you getting like newly diagnosed or
Right. Like
something.
that.
It's her time out.
Oh my
It's an
gosh.
hour. We put an
Okay.
hour clock
Oh,
because so we don't take advantage. So I think Eric has something for you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Woo! All
Woo.
right.
Celebrate.
So
Right.
that's why Tracy's last, because we're going over to see Blue right now, right?
See, you
Yeah.
knew it.
You guys ready for drinks?
You're not after this?
Yeah. What did you get for $20?
No, it's more than 20.
I know.
Oh, okay. I
It's
think.
75 or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
If it's less,
is that what she
complain.
told you? See, they were 100. She was out shopping.
She got a cut.
I got a
So-
cut. See that it's been chopped.
Well, thank you guys. That was fun.
Thank you so
I
much,
enjoyed it.
Tracy.
So,
And if
Yeah.
you think of something else, you just shoot us an email.
oh, yeah, you know I will.
I know, you're good for
Just
that.
walk over. Hey,
Well, walk over here. Not
Right, right.
No.
So,
Thank
that was
you,
fun.
Tracy.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Bye.
Sorry you didn't have work involved.
No, well, at least the ones who came were the most
Yeah. You had two
valuable.
others?
We just have to.
We had two that didn't
we
come.
have-
Oh, two that
every
didn't
time
come,
we
but
try
you were
it,
full
we
the rest of the day.
saying
Oh,
like,
I
From
thought
this
you,
morning.
I thought you only had two that came.
Oh, no.
Okay.
We had four.
can't show anything in the message
Yeah.
because
We usually book 6 because we say 5 is the real good number.
Yeah.
So we are short on one of this.
look, if there's no technical issue, put it in.
Thank you so much.
we should, I mean,
Bye.
that's like,
Enable the app to do push notifications, and we'll figure out payload later. Let's, you know, there's an app.
well,
there's
you have
something
a
in